Hi everyone, I'm Tara, this is Sebastian. Welcome to the Three Bookshelves. We are at Sebastian's bookshelf today to bring you the first episode in a series I'd like to call Bookish Baby. As I mentioned before, because my son is such a big part of my life and I want to make books a big part of his life, every now and then on my channel I will be talking about the books that he likes to read and that I like to read with him. To kick off the series, I thought I would create a tag about first books and favorite books so I could share some of the books that have played an important role in Sebastian's life so far. So let's get started. Number 1, the first book you read to your child. I honestly do not remember. The first few weeks after Sebastian was born are just a blur at this point. But it was either Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone or The Tales of Beedle the Bard. The artwork in the illustrated version is so beautiful, and I hope it will help Sebastian get into the story earlier than he would have without the illustrations. Eventually we'll get the whole collection. And if you're not familiar with The Tales of Beedle the Bard, it's the book from which Harry, Ron, and Hermione learn about the Deathly Hallows in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I brought my own copy of Philosopher's Stone to the hospital with the great intention of reading Harry Potter to Sebastian every single day of his life. But that's not the sort of thing you're thinking about 2 hours after giving birth. I don't remember if I read it to him at all in the hospital or how soon I read it to him once we got home. But I do know I read him the illustrated version within a couple of weeks because I have photo evidence of that. And I definitely remember reading him The Tales of Beedle the Bard within the first few weeks because I think it's a great idea to have him grow up on wizarding fairy tales as well as muggle fairy tales. Number 2, the first book that your child brought to you to read. And that was absolutely, definitely, without a doubt, Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. Green Eggs and Ham is a classic Dr. Seuss book that teaches kids to try new foods even though they might look funny because you never know when you might love it. About a month after he started walking, Sebastian started bringing me Green Eggs and Ham several times a day, which we read over and over and over until I had the thing almost memorized. Soon after that, he started bringing me every single book that we had. Number 3, your child's first favorite book. Again, I am not entirely sure, and I feel like a terrible mother right now. Sebastian loved books from very early on, but I don't remember if there was any one particular book that he showed a special interest to before Green Eggs and Ham. But he did gravitate towards one particular author's books more than any other, and that author was Leslie Patricelli. The first book of hers that we had was Toot, which we got as a baby shower gift from my cousin, whose 2 boys loved this book. And yes, this is a book about farting. It's about when you fart and different kinds of farts and who farts, because what kid doesn't think farting is hilarious. At some point we started getting more Leslie Patricelli books like Yummy Yucky, Huggy Kissy, and No No Yes Yes, all of which Sebastian loved for months on end. And since then, we have picked up a bunch more Leslie Patricelli books. We have almost completed our collection. I'll be doing a full video on Leslie Patricelli's wonderful book sometime next month, so stay tuned for that. Number 4, your favorite book to read to your child. For that, I have to go with Fox in Socks by Dr. Seuss. This book is so much fun to read. It has a whole bunch of tongue twisters that do trip you up at first, but after reading this book a million times, I can just fly right through them. Both Sebastian and I particularly love the Tweedlebeetles part. He'll often just open the book up to this section so I can read this to him. What do you know about Tweedlebeetles? Well, when Tweedlebeetles fight, it's called the Tweedlebeetle battle, and when they battle in a puddle, it's Tweedlebeetle puddle battle, and when Tweedlebeetles battle with paddles in a puddle, they call it a Tweedlebeetle puddle paddle battle. How much fun is that? Number 5, a book that your child loved but you hated. Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown. Goodnight Moon is about a little bunny who says goodnight to everything in his room at bedtime, like his toy house and his 2 little kittens, and the old lady telling him to hush, and of course, the moon. I'm sure I had this book as a child myself because it is such a classic, but the first time I read this as a parent, I thought, what? Why is this so popular? Why do kids love this book so much? It's just so silly. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. Mush? Really? Mush? And why is there a half-empty bowl of mush left in this kid's room overnight? Not to mention a roaring fire. That's not safe. Oh yeah, and mice. There's just mice infesting this kid's room. They don't care. That's just bad parenting. But Sebastian was obsessed with this book for weeks on end. He would not let me read anything else at naptime or bedtime. It had to be Goodnight Moon. Thankfully, he's over that phase now, but we still do read this every now and then at bedtime, and I still wonder every single time, why mush? Number 6, a book that your child wanted to read over and over and over again. There are a lot of books I could go with for this one, but I will choose Sebastian's current obsession, Moose by Robert Munsch. This book is about a boy who finds a moose in his backyard one day, and after initial fear, he decides he likes the moose and wants to keep him as a pet, but his parents don't exactly agree. He has been obsessed with this book for weeks and there doesn't seem to be any end in sight. We once read this book 8 times in a row. After that, I just stopped counting. There is a particular part in this book that Sebastian loves, and that is this page where the moose comes up to eat some carrots. He loves when we make the crunch sound effects, and this actually got Sebastian to start eating carrots himself. So it's kind of one of my favorite books too. I think he loves the book so much in part because of this moose, and yes, this is actually Sven from Frozen, but he was sitting there, he looked like a moose, so it's the moose. And we also have some toy carrots that Sebastian likes to feed the moose as we read the book. Number 7, a favorite bedtime story. Again, there are a lot of books I could choose for this, but I have to go with Llama Llama Red Pajama by Anna Dewdney. This is about a little llama who calls out for his mama after she puts him to bed, and she doesn't come right away, so he gets upset and then scared, but eventually learns that mama is always near, even if she's not right here. His obsession with Llama Llama is on the way out right now, but we still read Llama Llama Red Pajama probably every 2 or 3 days at bedtime. He's also started anticipating certain points of the story, like when Mama Llama gives Baby Llama a kiss, Sebastian will make kissy noises, and at one point Baby Llama wants a drink of water and Sebastian will start reaching for his sippy cup. I love that he's connecting things in the book with things in real life. Number 8, a book that your child destroyed. Obviously we don't have this book anymore, but it was Marvel Superhero Adventures, The Amazing Chase by J.E. Bright. Sebastian didn't intentionally destroy this book, he didn't rip it apart, he just handled it so much that the cover came loose and eventually just fell right off. I think he loved that book so much because of the Hulk. He has 5 Avengers dolls, but the Hulk is definitely his favorite, and he loved being able to find the Hulk on every page of that book. Eventually he started bringing over the Hulk doll every time he wanted to read the book. Number 9, a book you look forward to reading with your child once they're older. Let me think, this is a tough one. Obviously the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I mean, that's half the reason I had a kid in the first place, so I could someday share my love of Harry Potter with them. I did not grow up with Harry Potter myself. I was 15 or 16 when the craze first hit, and I didn't actually get into the series until I was 20. I really want Sebastian to experience the magic of Harry Potter as he grows up, as he grows with Harry. I want us to have that bond of reading the story together and loving it together. And I can't wait to enjoy it all over again myself through his eyes. Number 10, something your child did with books other than reading. Very few things hold Sebastian's attention for more than a minute or two, but for some reason he can be occupied for half an hour or more rearranging the books in his room. He will take them off the bookshelf, put them in the nightstand drawer, take them out of the drawer, put them on top of the nightstand, then put them back in the bookshelf, just over and over and over again. For some reason, that is the most fun thing in the whole world. And he's so deliberate when he does it. He just walks back and forth with this sense of purpose in his face, and I have to wonder why. What is his logic? What is his reasoning? What is the mission that he's so determined to accomplish? But I am not going to question it. It is one of the few things that he likes to do independently, and it gives me a little bit of time to read my own books while he's playing with his. And that is it for the Bookish Baby tag. I'd like to tag 2 of my favorite booktubers, Heather from Bookables and Katie from Life Between Words, who both have boys around Sebastian's age and who have both done videos about the books that their boys like to read. I'll link those down below. I also tag every other booktuber out there who has a little one in their life. Childhood literacy is so important to me, so I would really love this tag to get out there and to get more people on BookTube talking about the books that they read with their kids, or their grandkids, or their nieces and nephews, any kids in their lives. If you do this tag, please, please, please link your video for me down below, because I'd really love to see it. And if you don't do the video thing, just leave me a comment, let me know what books your little ones are into and what you think Sebastian and I should check out next. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this first episode of my Bookish Baby series, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more. I will be posting Bookish Baby videos on the 3rd Monday of every month. And if kids' books aren't your thing, don't worry, I'll still be posting my usual content every Friday. Until next time, happy reading everybody. Bye bye. That wasn't too bad. We'll do one more time? Can you look one more time on Mommy's phone? Okay, I think one of those will work. You want to say bye-bye now? Say bye-bye.